Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server. I'm able to show you all the new stuff that's dropping in this patch this week. It's actually going to be dropping on Thursday, I believe. So a couple of days early for you. You're welcome. I've done another video which is going to go out at the same time as this, where it looks at all of the new champions added to the game, including the rare and the epic champions that are going to be part of the fusion, and including, honestly, like a couple of just crazy new OP champions with new abilities. Raid are going insane. So check that one out at the end of the video. In this video, we're going to be looking at things like the new gear presets, how to use it. We're going to be looking at the artifact filtering. We're going to be testing out a couple of the new blessings, and I'll give you my thoughts on those. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of new stuff. Basically, anything in this patch, I'm taking a look. So I'd like to thank Dragonheir Silent Gods for sponsoring this video. Dragonheir, super cool strategy RPG hero collector with an open world setting as well. It's got some really novel parts to this game. It's got really, really great visuals, including just like nearly 200, I think now, different individual heroes with cool abilities and cool kind of synergies. There's a seasonal structure in Dragonheir where they change the elemental affinity bonuses, which means that you need to build new squads every season. Actually makes it a really fun, interesting change when that season kicks in. For example, we've got the Necrosis with Lightning right now, with Fire and Radiance, Frost and Poison. And then that swings with each different season, and you get bonuses for bringing those kind of like different affinities together. There's also just crazy good boss fights. Like the visuals of the bosses are so good. Let me just show you here one of them. This is the kind of like open world environment that I was talking about, where you get different puzzles to complete. You can actually find yourself different loot, and that loot enables you to create different potions or poisons or just kind of like go and steal someone's stuff out of their locker while they're just sitting there. Like there's a whole bunch of kind of like this D&D element feel to the game. They also do actual D&D Dungeons and Dragons collaborations, so that's super sweet as well. So let me show you just one of the boss fights here. They've got this 4x5 grid, which makes strategy really important. Means that you do need to decide where you're going to put your different classes of heroes. Like, are you going to frontline with a couple of tanks, one healer, and a couple of DPS in the back line? Do you have an assassin that needs to get into the back line against them? And you can do free gear swapping at like a click. All of these different things I've got here are squads that I've set up for me, and I'm able to just change my gear from one squad to the next with no penalties. So actually very cool. Then once you get into the combat, you set up the AI to be able to trigger your ultimates at a whim as you want to. And if it looks a bit ropey, you do have a summoner skill where you can just say, bam, a little bit of damage, a bit of shielding for my team, and give myself a good chance to stay alive. You can see I've timed ults on this so that I'm going to do the ultimates at the right time for my kind of like team setups. Or I could just be like, you know what? I'm going to take over doing this guy's ultimate myself because I want to personally kind of like take control. Really, really great game. You can download Dragonheir now on my link down below or on the QR code. You should also come and check out my YouTube channel, which covers Dragonheir. I do like a few videos a week, 3 to 4 videos per week on that channel. So I really appreciate if you came and subbed to that channel as well. Thanks again, Dragonheir, for sponsoring this one. Let's get back to it. Right then, let's get into these changes. So first thing I want to look at, this is probably the most important thing to me in this patch. That's where I'm starting. Sorry, people. Is the gear preset stuff. So right now we can go into filter. I can go into preset manager, and I can start to create presets for my champion. So, for example, my Lady Mikage, I might want this build that I've got on right now, which is my reflex build. So I can go into this kind of like arrow in the bottom right and say, I want to save this preset as Mikage, I don't know, clan boss, whatever it's going to be used for. Save as champion preset. And now if I go in and just change her gear up, so let's go into the fitting room. And I'd be like, you know what? I want an arena build. Yeah, so I want to go, I don't know, high speed, high accuracy. So let's just go speed up, accuracy up, give myself the perception gear that I'm going to want and start throwing new stuff on her. Do I have no helms? Here's one. Okay, so suddenly I've got this new perception build, and I might be like, you know what? That's already really good. Yeah, okay, so we might want to just try and find something with high accuracy for this piece. And suddenly we've got a second build. So now I can say, right, preset manager, save this second build for an arena build. Yeah, and I'll be like, save as champion preset. It's pretty cool, honestly, because I can literally be like, try on, what's it going to cost me, and then equip. That's like one change. Yeah, that's one thing that I can do. The other thing is, and I think they've given me some of these, have they? No, I thought they'd given me some of these things to amend it. Maybe I got to go and win them. Or maybe they've just forgotten to do it. But basically, for beating some of these levels now, there should be the chance to earn a free re-gear. Yeah, we're meant to have been given it in the test server, but it doesn't look like I have. But anyway, you will get free re-gear tokens, which will sit in your mailbox, and you then get either an hour or a 3-hour window, and it will come up as like a bonus up here, like you'll see from any of the kind of like raid boosts or XP boosts that you can get. And within those, you'll then be able to have a time frame where you just literally go in and change as many as you want. The cool thing with this, right, is that you can do a ton of planning if you're that type of player. So I can literally set up all of the champions that I want to change their gear on. I could set them all up in the manager without using any silver. I actually think that, look, I know some people are going to be still pissed at this, but I think this is a brilliant initiative from Raid. I do. I think it's a really good way to do it because their economy cannot just change overnight. And I know everyone thinks that free re-gear is what should happen. I've played now multiple games with free re-gearing, and it's not as great as you think it is. Take Watcher of Realms. I've played a ton of Watcher of Realms. I've got a YouTube channel on it and all that sort of stuff. I find free re-gearing really frustrating in that game. My gear's all over the place. I don't know who's wearing what. I don't know. I feel like this is actually not a bad solution, providing new players coming through the game have other chances to find these tokens which give you like your free hour or your free 3 hours worth of changing gear around. But I actually think the preset manager is good, and I think they've done a good job of it. And I think that the way they're implementing it is actually decent. So I hit try on, it tells me how much it's going to cost unless I've got the free re-gear thing, and then I equip the change. Now let's say that this same set of gear is really relevant for other champions. I think in mainly Cintranos, honestly, but also Arena. Yeah, or if I want to do testing, like on the test server for me, this is great. I'm going to use this exact tool later in this video to show you some tests around blessings. It's brilliant for me. But I think for players as well, like if you've got a good damage set or good damage set for Arena, a good regen set, which is going to be passed around different champions when you're doing your faction wars. Same sort of thing with bolster or shield set. You pass it around your factions. The same sort of thing with stun set. You're passing it around for Cintranos. Like, there's a number of times where this is really, really relevant for different champions using the same gear. So I could go in here and I could be like, I don't know, high speed, high accuracy. How much can I do? High speed, accuracy, Arena. I can't type anymore. I can't type as much as I want, but I don't know. Maybe I can be cleverer with what I say. Plus speed, accuracy, Arena. There you go. Save as global preset, and then bam. Now I can use that same global preset. I can be like, oh, hold on a minute. I'm going to use Prince Kaimar now for Arena, or I want to switch out the way I'm using him. So we can go into our gear. We can go into our preset manager, grab the global. Did I not do it right? Did I save it as something else? Filter, preset. Okay, let me try again. Save as global. I thought I did it right. Plus speed, accuracy, Arena. Save as global. Oh, the name contains something weird. I didn't see that bit. Okay. Speed, accuracy, Arena. Save as global. Doesn't like pluses, right? Okay, fine. It's fine. Now we've got one global preset. Again, I can go back into this dude. And now it's at a touch of a click. It's like global preset. Try it on. How does it feel? It feels okay. But for this guy, I'm going to have to change up, obviously, his accessories. So I guess what you would do is you'd say, right, well, I'll equip that, but then I'm also going to need to make my own accessory change. I guess you can just do like whatever you're going to put on, go into the preset manager and then download just the new accessories as his arena accessories. And then you've got kind of got it here. I will say, like the people that play at the highest level of this game, this is going to be a godsend for them. And the people that don't, right? So the people that play I'd say a reasonable level, but not like, you know, trying to push Plat Arena and stuff or trying to push Live Arena. This is where, you know, they're kind of like Sintranos stuff or just generally, as I said earlier, like stun sets, shield sets, regen sets can be moved around very effectively. So I could just be like, okay, I want this global preset, stun gear, or like, you know, whatever it's going to be, fast stun, accuracy, whatever the build is that you're trying to do, and then save that as a global, and then suddenly you can just, you know, a click of a button, you can move all that gear onto someone else. I think it's good. I personally think it's a pretty decent implementation. The next thing I'm going to show you, I think is a pretty trashy implementation, okay? So I don't know what they're thinking here. So if I go into filter, hit hide set filters. Yeah, this is what, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's actually okay. Right. They've done it better than I thought they'd done it. Hold on. I've misspoken. I take it all back. I take it all back. This is not what I thought I was going to do. I thought all of these were going to be mixed into one thing. They're not. So I'm on orcs and I can just shut away the standard orcs. No, it shuts away the whole lot of orcs. Okay. Anyway, I could go down and be like, right, protection set, blood shield set, reaction set, revenge set. Okay. It's tons better than I thought they'd done it. And then if you just want it all mingled back into one, which I would never suggest is a good idea, you can hit hide set filters. But they have broken out at least all of these things. So I wish they'd gone one step further. Do I care? Actually, do I care? I kind of would love to just be able to say, just show me Merciless. But I mean, I kind of can. I guess I kind of can. Yeah, I kind of can. I could be like, right, a quick view. Do I have enough Merciless pieces to be able to do what I want to do for this faction? That's pretty much all I would want to use it for. So I actually think, take it all back. This is not bad. This is not bad implementation. So I guess I can still just be like, give me something with speed on it, and it'll do the same. So I can be looking through the different sets and be like, yeah, okay, I do have some bits with speed on it. Damn. Yeah, so, okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was. It's probably like now an 8 out of 10 implementation. So that's way better than I thought. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at the new blessings quickly. Now, I've done a video on them in general, talking to Saf and kind of getting his view on stuff as well. He is saying this is quite cool that it's the only heal in the game now where you actually get, or the only blessing which actually improves your heal. So there will be some value to this, especially if people are doing, you know, like 2 or 3, or I'd say 2 across your team continuous heals, and healing is their like primary objective. You know, because in some teams you just don't need all of those other debuffs going off. You know, if you've got, I don't know, say you've got someone like a bad El Khazar and his primary job is actually cleansing and healing, or someone like a Whiffir, then this could end up being pretty solid. So Nourish, not a bad implementation. Nature's Bounty, whenever this champion applies a debuff, has a chance to apply the greater version. What we don't know yet is what's excluded from this. Like, for example, poison sensitivity. Do they make that into the big version? It is in the game. Yeah, anyway, but I think the majority of debuffs will be included. And this can be quite interesting on champions that do multiple small debuffs. Yeah, so take someone like a Bellower, for example. There's also epics that do this as well. Like epics suddenly, that were quite trash, could end up being pretty good. So I'm going to do a separate video on this particular topic. We've got here Neutralize. So this goes through Poison Cloud. So really anyone whose primary role is to be a burn champion or a provoke champion, I think this could be pretty good for, especially if you've got the other bases covered, like the cruelty and all that sort of stuff, you know, the brimstone, because, you know, it's especially important to say, like, kind of want 5-star for this to be properly effective, 40% chance, but it can get you out of jail, I think, can get you out of trouble. If that poison cloud gets spread, suddenly your burner is able to apply that burn anyway. It's decent. So I think this is a cool addition, but it's quite niche. And you'll need to make those decisions around the champions you think should work this through. So like the main debuffs in my head would be burn, provoke, maybe hex, maybe. But yeah, mainly burns, I think, is going to be the champs. Okay, then. Nature's Wrath. Nature's Wrath increases the damage inflicted by this champion for every debuff they successfully place, except debuffs placed by gear sets. This can pump up to 30% extra damage, 15% extra damage on a 5-star. We're going to do a couple of tests on this one in a minute. So I've got a few champions that are kind of in the mix here. I can take a look at how does this look compared to Phantom's Touch, and how does it look compared to Heavencast on a couple of champs that I've got. So I can take a look and see what the damage looks like on those. But the cool thing here is it stacks. So if you do if you've got one champion doing one debuff, when they apply that debuff for the 5th time, you do get the 15% more damage, which is actually a lot. So if you've got someone who's generally a decent hitter, this could be pretty mad. This could be a pretty nutty one. Especially if you've got someone who applies multiple debuffs, then you can get to your stacks really quick. So the one thing I'm not sure about is like 6-star. How does this stack up versus something like Crushing Rend? I think it's nowhere near it on most PvE content because Crushing Rend's so broken. But anyway, let's check out Cracking Roots. I think this is trash. I'd have to test it. I'm thinking, because all it's going to do is do this extra damage until Stone Skin is gone. I think there's just better ways to try and get rid of Stone Skin, like burns, poisons, burns and bombs. Like, what's the other thing? Yeah, burns and bombs are probably a better way to get rid of it, or just wait it out and build a team that's going to wait it out. I'm not sure about this. I just think, yeah, I don't know. We'd have to do some tests. I don't think this is going to be getting into the meta anytime soon. And then the last one, Harmonic Impulse. So fills turn meter whenever they lose their turn because of fear or true fear. I think this could be quite cool in Hydra. Also decreases the cooldown of the skill used when their turn is lost. So again, if you've got the other bases covered, someone like a Lydia that's always trying to hit the Head of Torment, you suddenly get a lot of chance to improve her value. Anyone really, if you don't have a way of dealing with the Head of Torment in Hydra, this could just be a really high value legendary blessing. So I think all in all, they're pretty decent. I don't think they've gone like crazy OP on any of them, but I think they're all kind of decent. They've got use cases, maybe with the exception of Cracking Roots. Let's take a quick look at a couple of damage tests. So I'm going to start with a Turvold because he's just in my Clan Boss team right now. He's got a 5-star Heavencast as his blessing. Now I can't like spit out the exact numbers which each blessing did, but because I've got this team that goes to infinite turns, I think we can have a look and see what his overall damage looks like with Heavencast. Okay, why? Oh, I've just changed a load of builds. What's going on? I've just changed my Mikage build. Here you go. Strip to dry. Don't worry. Even on the test server now, I can just do a quick one-click equip. Beautiful. Let's try that again. So this is Heavencast. What do we get? Damn, this is taking a bit. It's taking a minute. Turvold does 266,798. 266,798 with Heavencast. Let's see what happens if we change that to the old favourite, Phantom's Touch. Turvold's a little bit different from some heroes because he does hit hard, right? So because he hits hard, he probably outscales Phantom Touch. Okay, then Phantom Touch goes down to 257 mil for Turvold. And then let's just check out. The affinity change shouldn't make a difference to him. So let's just go with the new one, Nature's Wrath. So he's going to be getting 15% more damage. And he does apply. So his debuffs are just on his A1. So it'll take him a little bit of time to get his debuffs up, but not long. Got the little scale symbol here. But 15% more damage. He's not a great person for this because his debuffs will take a little bit of time to stack up. But someone like Turvold who hits, I'm interested to see what it looks like with Heavencast. Heavencast, I've got quite a lot of buffs here in this team. So I'm kind of like almost best case scenario for Heavencast, which does throw you off against Phantom Touch a bit. Phantom Touch at 6-star is super strong. So for Turvold here, he drops down to 247. So significantly less than Heaven Cast for him. Let me just check out. I've got a Fane who I pre-built. Built for damage, but not in like nutty gear. Let's just throw Fane into this same team a sec. Only 2-star. Okay, so 2-star, so lower blessing rating. What blessing have I got on right now? I think I've got the Heaven Cast on first, have I? I've got no blessing on right now. I guess, why not? It's a base test. 86 million naked, no blessing. So let's go for Phantom Touch first. I think low blessing like this, Phantom Touch should win, but we'll see. Because Phantom Touch is a bit like War Master in that you just get a standard amount of damage when it procs. So you just get, and it's based on the enemy's max HP. So for a lower level champion who's not hitting as hard, Phantom Touch I think still should win, especially on a low level blessing. But it'll be interesting to see. So 86. Oh, it's basically, how's that work? Basically the same damage as you did before. That's nuts. Let's see with Heaven Cast. Heaven Cast, 0.5% damage extra per buff. This is it. I guess low star blessings, they really are not as impactful unless it's like a legendary and it's like the first time you're applying something like Brimstone. It does show that the value of 4 to 6-star blessings just is so much higher. 102. Significant jump. Significant jump with Heaven Cast, actually. Damn. That's a massive jump. And let's see what a 2-star. So this is giving us up to 6% more damage versus what we've just seen there with Heaven Cast, which was 0.5% per buff. So I feel like this should give us more damage than Heaven Cast here. Bearing in mind, Fane will get the debuffs up in no time. Although, yeah, that should be fine. 83, it's less. It's less. Damn. Okay. We'll try one more. One more champ who I can just build out. So I want to find someone with a high blessing. Alika, perfect. Alika is perfect for this. So let's grab the gear from Fane. Let's grab Fane's gear. So I want to go to Fane first. Filter, preset manager. Steal it all. Save as global. Test. Testy. Grab my Alika, who's a 6-star blessing. Going to go naked first. Filter. Try on all of that. And then we're going to go just with... actually, does she land any debuffs? Hold on. She's no good. She's no good. She doesn't land any debuffs. That's a shame. Should have been a good test. Who else have I got? I was hoping for someone who hits hard, you know? Doesn't hit that hard, but we could go with... We could try this one instead. So let's just check. Bit quick. I think it's okay. So Venomage, same setup. But she's now got 6 stars. So Venomage is now a 6-star. Let's go with the base. No blessing that improves my damage. We've got a good affinity over the clan boss. So that shouldn't affect anything here. So we've got 65.5 million as base. So with 6-star, let's see what that Phantom Touch does here. 65.5, 71.2 with Phantom Touch, 6-star. So Heaven Cast, and again, don't forget Heaven Cast here. I'm basically in best case scenario because you got 2, 4, 6. I think it's probably like 7 buffs at any time. 8, 9, more like 9 buffs because of shield set. So yeah, I think it's about as good as it can get. 74 million, so more than the Phantom Touch. And then let's try out the new one. Again, we're stacking our debuffs super quick in with Venomage. So that's going to be about best case scenario for Venomage as well. 6 stars. So now we should be getting 30% more damage. The thing is with someone like a Venomage, though, that's why Alika would have been good if she does a debuff. Venomage is not really someone who does their damage through hitting. They do their damage through poisons and stuff. Albeit, Corvus is in there, so there's not enough room for Venomage to do all of her damage that way. So it should be a pretty fair comparison. 71.9, so more similar to Phantom Touch. I don't know if that test really concluded a lot. None of them are really kind of like massively jumping out for Clan Boss as like best in slot. I think, yeah, it's not conclusive. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure based on that. Because that was, you really want someone who's going to hit hard, apply debuffs, and it probably just depends on the team comp that you're running. You definitely want someone, so maybe it's more relevant in Hydra, where you're applying debuffs quickly, and then you get straight up to that 30% more damage. But it is interesting that you're not really gaining a lot of damage, certainly in Clan Boss. In Hydra, I guess you're hitting multiple heads. So, you know, potentially you got someone that can ramp up really quickly and then is getting 30% more damage on like AoEs. That could be pretty mad. But yeah, big changes to Blessings, honestly. And I think over the next few weeks, we will find out, you know, the best ones that are available now. So one of the big things people are concerned about is, will my team still work on these boss changes? One of the big ones here is actually the Sand Devil having more sleepy stacks. For some teams, it could throw it out. For my team, it's going to be absolutely fine. But for some teams, it could throw you out. I think one of the big things that I'm seeing is people are concerned about Blizzard. I've never done the Blizzard stuff. I don't own him. But yeah, the other kind of like big thing we're wondering is, will it be easier to climb these bosses? And that's something which I'll put some time into over the next week or so. Just want to see if my current teams run. You're taking significantly less damage against the Phantom Grove. You're also you're building his stacks up slower, and you are reducing more of his stacks with your people with Awakening. So this should end up being quite a lot more comfortable. I think this boss is going to be quite a lot more comfortable. I don't know if my team's capable of beating them on this affinity. I don't have any affinity breaker on anymore. But maybe it is. And this would be, honestly, like, at the moment, it looks super comfy. And it definitely was not super comfy. So you see the stacks are building up. But yeah, I mean, Cold Heart suddenly being absolutely, like, the nuts. So on perhaps what you would class as ropey teams, it should be easier to get the job done. And on, I guess, decent teams that were already good, it should just become way easier. I don't know. I'm still stacking up quite a bit, I guess. But yeah, there's no way, like, before this nerf, there's no way I win that fight. I've lost it so many times, which is why I generally farm 24 on my main, because I'm too lazy to build the team again better. But this has definitely been, this is an eye-opener for me, like, for sure. There's no way I would have consistently done it this many times in a row with my previous setup before the nerf. So that's interesting. So it's more forgiving if you do any weak hits and stuff, for sure. And the Iron Twins, I will do some testing here because I want to know if it's viable with champions outside of Geomancer now. I don't know the stat change. We won't know until these changes go live on the actual game. Then we can check the changes to things like HP and defense and stuff like that and give you a more realistic view. At the moment, I use this kind of like geo strat. Now, some of the changes are he won't reset as frequently. So, you know, things like Brimstone's more effective. He's just done his kind of like first cleanse there. He's only going to do 3 instead of 4, which should mean it's a quicker fight for a lot of people. But yeah, at the moment, I run this geo strat where all of the damage comes from him hitting me whilst burn is up. The question we've got is it going to be more accessible for people outside of this? I think it was a great opportunity as well for this fight in particular to amend rewards. And they didn't. I just feel like they could have just amended the amount of stuff you get on the weekdays, you know, not on the Sunday. Sunday, I think, is not bad, but just think people are not engaging with this content because the rewards feel so crap for the amount of energy that you put into it. So it was a real opportunity to kind of like, you know, deal with a couple of things at the same time. But I guess, look, he's going to be toned down, so we should be able to find some additional strategies now to be able to deal with this. So look, there you go, guys. Quite a big patch, honestly. Quite a lot going on. I think most of it is pretty damn positive, but let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to check out the other video where I'm looking at the new champs, and I will see you in the next one.